was distracting. Okay. And the closet was open. It was distracting. Because it's sad. Just. Alright. And I sent that. There we go. Hello, can you hear me?
Good evening.
Hello.
Graceful Rabbitry is with us already. Look at that. We got one person.
Heck yeah. Let's say a few minutes early because I figured early was better than late because I always, like, if I'm, like, right on time, all of a sudden it's pushed back, like, 5 minutes because something goes wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just sitting in the living room watching Love is Blind.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I went out and did the chores early, so I didn't have to worry about them.
You're ahead of me. I got half of everyone fed. I still got to blanket the horses because it wasn't quite cold enough to get everyone blanketed. And then I got to feed the mini Rexes because I was putting it off because before we ran out to the store to go pick a couple things up, Vesper still hasn't had her babies. So I was like, I'll feed the mini Rexes a little later so I can keep pushing that back.
Yeah. I've got one doe that is starting to pull fur, but she hasn't popped any babies out yet.
Yep.
So I'm assuming it'll probably be overnight tonight.
Right. So the only one of mine pulling fur is Onyx. She was pulling fur as soon as I gave her the nest box. Everyone else is just eating their hay and staring at me.
So that's usually what happens to mine. I'll put my nest boxes in at like 27 days.
Yep.
And they just eat all the straw. And then at like 29 days, I'll refill it. And then they'll eat it all. And then I'll go out the next day and it's like a ball of fur in there.
Yeah. And it's so annoying because no matter how much you like pack it full of like hay and straw, it's like, you know, they're going to eat it.
Well, I don't use hay.
I don't either.
Because I know that they're going to eat that.
Well, I don't use it for like normal feeding. I use it because I don't just keep straw and I have limited space for storage.
I buy a bale of straw and it usually lasts me like a year.
Mm-hmm.
So like
currently feeding the rabbits now. I feel that.
Yes, I did mine earlier.
Yep.
23 rabbits done.
23.
Plus I had to check on... Well, I pulled 3 nest boxes out of cages because the babies were big enough they could be out of them now. And then I checked on my 2 newest litters, which the one mom, they're both first-time moms. And the one mom, she had 4. One was a stillborn. She had 3. I left for a couple hours, came home, and she had them strung out across a box.
Jesus Christ.
They were all cold. One was dead. And my girlfriend took them and put them inside her shirt to try to warm them back up.
Yep.
Got the 2 of them got warmed back up, but the one ended up passing right before I could get it put in a nest box. And the other one, so the mom is a first-time mom. She had 5 kits, and she fostered the remaining kit. She has taken it, and they're all fat little wiggly worms now. So and she's only like a 2-pound doe.
Jeez.
And she had 5 babies, and she's fostering a 6th.
Yep. Well, that's something I was trying to explain to someone. They're like, "Oh, I bet you have inbreeding depression in your lines." It's like, no, my minis have 4 to 6 babies, depending. They're like, "Oh, that's a sign of." It's like, if you're having a mini Rex that's having like that many, that's not normal. Like mini Rex normally have like 4 or 5, mostly 4.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, see, I have does that I can count on having 4. I have does that I can count on only having 2.
Yep.
But I've had 2 does this year now give me litters of 5 or more.
Jesus, on a mini.
One on a lion head. I have one give me 6, and she lost 1. And she didn't lose it until it was 2 weeks old.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it was 2 weeks old, and it was the runt. It was getting out competed, and it just couldn't survive.
I'll tell you the one that always shocked me. My one doe, Sadie. That's the mom of the amber doe you were digging on, the photo I sent you.
Mhm.
Consistently would have 8 babies and keep 7 of 8 alive.
Yeah.
And she was a
I
mini
have
Rex. It was so
well,
weird.
the one doe that I have, her litter's 2 weeks, 3 weeks old now.
Mhm.
This is her 3rd litter.
Mhm.
The first one she had on the wire, and they were all dead. Second one she had in a nest box, but she didn't make a nest for them.
Yeah.
And then this one she had 4 babies and made the most beautiful nest I've ever seen.
Jesus. Hey, Vesper. We were just talking about your doe.
Which one? That Amber?
Vesper. No, we have Vesp named one of my rabbits Vesper out of this last mini Rex thing. And she's actually the first one due, and she is a twerp.
Yeah. I have the one that's going to have babies tonight. Hopefully have babies tonight. And then I think I've got a few days before I have to put in any more nest boxes.
Yep.
But I've got, so if she kindles tonight, that'll put me down to 6 more does left. And then I'm thinking about breeding one of my Roo does to the new Roo buck that I just got.
Nice.
And then I'm going to do that for Minicon. Do that breeding for Minicon.
Yep.
I think Minicon.
I think I gave
Minicon's
Danny.
in May.
Yes. I think I gave Danny the showing bug our last show because I told him, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do a road trip out to Ohio. We're going to go to this and that. He's like, can I come? And it's like, yeah, if you want. It's like, oh, we might have gotten him now.
Yeah. Now you're going to have to find him a breed.
Right. Except for he was looking pretty comfortable with my one mini Rex Roo. Yeah. He had my one little Roo buck and he was just sitting there just petting it.
Hey, get him on the good color of whites.
Nah, I'm telling you. He's obsessed with the booze, which is hilarious. Yes, he is. Yes.
No.
I have my little corner of the barn that is strictly nothing leaves it. It's my boo corner.
The boos need to run off of the Grand Canyon.
No.
Yes,
I refuse. No, right because here's the thing, right? Hey, Julie, here's the thing, right, with the boos. I am working so hard to get them to the quality to where they can go up against blacks, where they can go up against otters and roos. And the thing is they're doing well enough now on the table to where, like, freaking, you know who, the Judge Dakota Manning?
Mm-hmm.
So I threw it up there. He looked at it, and he's like, oh, my God, why is this on my table? And he looked at it, he goes, it's not the worst thing I've seen.
They won't compete for a long time, though. It don't matter how well you get them.
I know.
They just won't.
They won't, especially with the stigma against blue-eyed white mini Rex. I know they won't. But the fact I have judges now that are sitting there going, okay, these are looking pretty nice. I know they're not going to compete, especially with fur density. I know. But I'm not getting laughed off the table anymore.
Yeah, I mean, but you're just like us with our lion heads. There's judges that don't like them.
Yep. And I know for sure there are a couple of judges that consistently judge here in the Colorado shows. And every time they see them, they're like, you're still going on with this? And it's like, yeah, I am. And they're just like sick of my shit.
Well, that's like the show that we had 2 weekends ago. The judge, the specialty show judge liked short manes. So all my short mane rabbits did good. Then the other 2 shows, they like long manes. So then I didn't do very good.
Right. Hey, Julie. Hey, Rune. Hey, Blessed with Pets.
Blessed with Pets. We were talking about you the other day.
We were talking about your lippity loppities.
We were talking about your buns. And yeah. That is going to be a conversation we need to talk to in private.
Because yes.
You need help.
You need a mentor to sit down and work with you.
Higgy Homestead. Hello. I'm not Maddie, but I'll say hello.
Hello, Maddie's man.
No. No. Don't let my girlfriend find out about that.
I love your girlfriend.
She's probably watching this because I told her to get on YouTube and find you and watch it.
Yes. I was gonna say any significant other that sits across the table and like will sit there with a video camera is like my favorite significant other, especially if they're not into it like at our level, but they're like little supportive flags, like yay.
Yeah.
Like
so she's like she helps me carry them to the tables and stuff. She's like she understands them and she helps me as much as she like the other night we were out in the barn and we were going through babies. We were putting a friend of mine gave me a whole bunch of water bottles. We were putting water bottles up, and like I was going through feeding, and she was putting the top dress in.
Yep.
Like she's trying to learn, and I love it.
I was like every time I have like a cold baby or I need like med help, I like shove it at my husband. I'm like, here you go, hold this, and he just has like baby. And he's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, just hold it, and he's like, okay.
I had one that got goopy butt, and she helped me with it. She's like, she's holding it as I'm trying to get the goopy butt off of it. And then I'm like, we need to take this inside and give it a bath. So we brought the baby in, and I got its butt all scrubbed up. And then she grabbed a towel, and she wrapped it up, and she was drying it. And then she got the hair dryer out so we could dry it with a hair dryer.
Yep. Oh, no. My favorite so far was... one time, Danny tried to impress me, and he tried to do that thing where you like vault up over the horse's ass and sit on their backs, right? He got right on the tailbone of Dallas the pony, and Dallas just went whee and like launched him.
Yep.
And he jumped up real quick and he wiped himself off. He's like, I'm gonna try that again. And I'm like, oh, you're gonna break your ass.
Right? No, the horse is gonna break him.
Right. It's like, dude, you can't do that.
All right, so we were talking earlier. Let's turn this over to you guys and question and answers. You know, you guys got any questions? Pop them in the comments. Q&A. We are open. It doesn't have to be rabbits either. It can be homestead related.
Yep.
I may not live on a homestead right now, but I've got a lot of experience.
I do live on a homestead, and I have a bit of experience. No, you know what's hilarious about that, Julie? Nessie's probably going to outgrow Dallas by the time she is a year old. Because I like to lie and say that Dallas is a horse. Dallas is a pony. Like, she's not even close. She's a whole hand, like, under for a horse.
What is it, like 14 hands?
It's like 14.3, I think, for ponies.
My sister showed quarter horses. So I was like, I know a little bit about horses.
Yep. Well, that's what 14.2. Thank you, Vesp. I thought it was 14.3. It's 14.2. Well, that's the thing with Dallas is a quarter pony. But
she had an AQHA. It was a really nice mare.
Yep.
And she was Western pleasure. And that horse was bulletproof. They got her through the Humane Society, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a rescue. Really emaciated when we got her, and we brought her back, and she was a bulletproof horse.
Yeah. As I say, my favorite American quarter horse, it was a gray. He was about 6 years old when I rode him, and he was a reining horse. And I ride English, right? And I remember the guy that let me ride him, he was a Western judge, and he was sitting there in the middle of the arena telling me what to do, and I gave the wrong cue, and that horse did a quick spin and put me on my ass real quick.
Yep. So I had a friend. I have a friend of mine. She rode English, and she actually got a retired thoroughbred.
Oh yeah, that's what English. Nav is.
Yeah. But she also had a it was a Clydesdale Haflinger mix.
Ooh, bulky.
Oh yeah. She's like, it feels like you're sitting on a sheet of plywood.
Sounds about right.
She's like, they had to get like, I forget where they had to have a special Amish made saddle
Mhm.
strap to because she was so broad that she couldn't find a strap to fit across her girth.
Jesus. All right, I'm searching for a puppy, small dog. What considerations do you think I need to consider to make this new dog act right with the bunnies? So the biggest thing,
Don't get a hound.
don't get it. And if you're gonna do any kind of herding breed, like Thor is considered a small dog. He's a Swedish Bluehound. He's a herding dog. He is right on. Like, oh my God, there's a thing I want to blue it. And it took a lot of training to get him to stay right with me and just be right to ignore the animals and just pay attention. A Maltese. So an animal like a Maltese, I'm not really familiar with the breed of purpose other than, would you stop biting me?
The Maltese is more of a designer breed.
Yeah, it's more of a companion dog.
Yeah, they're not. So are you looking for this dog for a special purpose?
Or is it just a companion?
Or is it just a companion animal?
Because like Thor, I used Thor to bring the chickens in at night. Mm-hmm. Because they're used for sheep and cows in Nordic countries.
Pet only. And so I will recommend do not get dachshunds. I had 2, and they tried to get into the rabbit cages anytime they even got into the barn.
Well, aren't they used primarily for rodent hunting?
Yes.
Same with Jack Russells.
No Boston Terriers, no Jack Russells, no dachshunds. Mm-hmm. Nothing that is used small and used for hunting. Because even though they might not be from that kind of a family, it's still imprinted in their DNA.
And something as a husky owner, I know you said small dogs, anyone who's listening, huskies around any farm animal takes a shit ton of training.
Yes.
And
huskies
the thing
are
is,
high strung to begin with.
We use that. We run marathons, so they are perfectly happy with that.
I will say, just a small, cute dog. Mm-hmm.
I will say with the small dogs,
I like min pins.
I love min pins. They are such one that I love when it comes to like small dogs, mini poodles. I love poodles.
Toy poodles are nice too.
Yes, just poodles in general. Well, I think it's toy is the correct word, not mini, but my brain is on rabbits. But poodles in general, like many people don't. I have a doodle. Before doodles were popular, it was a free dog from a farmer who somebody's standard size poodle got out and bred as Blue Heeler bitch. Mm-hmm. So my little black dog you see running around, Panda is like 13, 14 years old. I got him when I was in high school. So I got a doodle before doodles were a thing. He's very much so poodle brained. I would love to get a standard poodle someday.
Higgy, don't get a multi-poo.
No, don't get a multi. If you're gonna do multi, just get a poodle. Just get a poodle.
Because the crosses, they carry the genetic, like not deformities, but the bad things from both sides.
Not only that, but a lot of times when you get these designer breeds, you're going to an unethical breeder that doesn't work with. They don't do genetic testing. They don't know their lines, and you end up with trash. Like, if you look at my little dog, Thor, that was 2 years in the making of sitting on a wait list, waiting for the perfect dog. And it just so happened I got on the wait list ready. It was around the time I had my daughter, so my husband called it my push present.
Vesper, multi-poos are not doodles. Doodles are retrievers mixed with poodles.
Yes. So they are.
It could be a golden retriever or a Labrador retriever, but those are what doodles are.
Yeah, and you will, but they are still poodle mixes that people will breed for just.
Yep.
Because here's the thing, you can get a well-bred poodle for so much less.
Same thing with silver labs. Don't get a silver lab.
My parents got a silver lab, and
because I was
so angry.
They're a cross between a black lab and a Weimaraner. But Weimaraners have a lot of health issues.
They do. So my mom was like, "Oh my God, there's a silver lab I want to get," because she had a Basenji, right, and it died. So she's looking for a new dog, and she's like, "There's these silver labs that somebody's selling." I'm like, "Mom, don't get a silver lab." I said, "Either get a Labrador or get a Weimar." I said, "Those are designer mutts. They are from unethical breeders." Next thing I know, she's sending me a picture of this
Mhm.
little silver lab, and she's like, "We got it," and I'm like,
I will say though, I
"Mom."
had one friend that got a silver lab out of a black lab and a black lab, but it was
Because it
not
sits
a
in a
silver
recessive.
lab. It was a recessive gene,
Hmm.
sort of like a melanistic.
Yep.
And Vesper said that he thought doodles were just a term. Nope,
So,
that's what they've
mhm,
named the
mhm.
retriever poodle mixes.
And there is a doodle club that is trying right now to get AKC recognized. The problem is that their standard is not strong enough, and they cannot get it passed through the American Kennel Club right now. I
That's Haggy. That's another good one. Is Shih Tzu. Shih
I
Tzus are good little dogs.
my grandparents had two little Shih Tzus. Their names were Jax and Riley. Unfortunately, Jax passed last year at like 16. Very few health problems. Um, they're very calm dogs. Like my grandpa takes Riley out on a walk around the block. One block, that's it. That's all he needs a day. They're very biddable. They're very easy to train. They're absolutely fantastic little dogs. Shih Tzus are the only bad thing is they take a lot of grooming. Oh, greens.
Blessed
Oh, there you go.
Blessed with Pets says that she wants to do Pyrodoodle.
No, bless the pets. Don't do designer breeds, hun.
Don't a Pyrenees is a pure breed.
Yes.
Don't cross them with anything.
No,
They
and not
are
only that, but
amazingly
they
strong,
are.
amazing. They have amazing health systems.
Mhm.
You don't want to influence that at all.
And not only
And
that, when you breed,
doodles have such horrible health records.
they do. They really do. And the thing is like I got lucky with Panda because Panda, both his parents are pure blood, health tested. It's just the poodle owner was an idiot. I got lucky as hell with his genetics because he could have been a fucking mess. Free dogs. They're
Julie Joyner,
fantastic.
if you want to get a Great Dane, just get a miniature horse. Just get a
Oh,
miniature horse. You'll be better off.
so no, so growing up, there was a person behind me that raised Great Danes. They were the nastiest, meanest animals, and they used to breed puppies. I swear they didn't have health testing or anything. They're probably backyard breeders. But I would go back and cross that yard because my best friend who got me into rabbits lived beside them, and those Danes were mean, and they did not respect their electric fence. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
Australian cobber dogs. I've never heard of those.
No. I will say this: if you want a good loyal dog, Catahoulas. Catahoulas are
Catahoulas.
very, very loyal.
But finding a good breeder for those in the United States is kind of hard right now.
West Virginia. There's a lot in West Virginia, and there's a lot in Georgia.
Okay.
Because they're used for bears in West Virginia, and they're used for hogs. They're used for hogs in Georgia.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you, Vesper. A Piradoodle's coat would be hell.
Yes. The worst coat I would probably go with is a Chesapeake Bay Retriever.
Mm-hmm.
I love their curly coats.
I'll tell you, coat-wise, something I love, Rhodesian Ridgebacks.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are just the coolest coated dog.
Have you seen the Tibetan Mastiffs?
Yes, I have.
Like,
I'll tell you,
what?
the one on my bucket list is Irish Wolfhound. I would love to have an Irish Wolfhound, but with how short of lives they live, I don't think I could. Basically, a better breed Labradoodles, like, is a Labradoodle in his pedigree. My friend has a Great Dane Mastiff. Not joking. That's huge. That would be huge. Mastiffs. I've met some Mastiffs. I like Mastiffs for the most part.
Yeah.
Though, don't they have issues with like eyes and drooling and that kind of thing?
Yes, Mastiffs drool bad.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my fiance were talking that like once we get a house and settled in, we were talking about getting like a guard dog, and I'm thinking about getting a King Corso.
Oh, the only thing with King Corsos is the average dog owner cannot own one just because of how like temperamental they are, how big they are. I love the breed. I personally know I probably could not handle one.
Yeah,
I have Rick. What more can I ask for? Rick is his own kind of hell.
I had an Australian Red Heeler, and that dog was the most loyal dog I have ever had.
Yep. That's what my dad has currently. His name is Flint. He is 3 years old and he's a red heeler. And he's a good dog, don't get me wrong, but he is high strung to hell. He is very
See,
much the red heeler
then
energy.
he's not a pure Red Heeler.
Probably not.
The blue healers are the ones with the high strung
Mhm.
energy. The
Mhm.
red healers were bred to be that. So the blue healers and the red healers, they originated at the same time. The blue
Okay.
healers were more of those rush in and move the cattle and the sheep and stuff, and the red healers they hung back around the back, and they just
Yeah.
kept the flanks and everything
Yeah.
contained.
Blessed with Pets, I disagree with you. Bad breeders should not exist. The thing is when you have those smushed faced animals that have the proper brachial area in the nose and the back of the throat, you can have a breed that exists without those problems. The problem is hyperbreeding and breeding animals with those closed nasal flares and
Mhm.
closed back that they can't breed. Good breeders that do health testing and that breed appropriate animals, you can have those breeds and still have the appropriate sizing on the nose and in through the breathing tubes.
Yeah. So did you see the Europe banned smushed face breeds?
Europe also banned freaking not all of Europe, but a lot of those nations banned docking and cropping, even though a lot of times
Yeah.
docking and cropping is essential for a dog's job.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I seen that the other day that they officially passed it to where you have to breed to the old standard with the longer noses.
yeah, but the thing is like you have these things, they're calling them like retro pugs. The
Hmm.
thing is that doesn't fix the nasal flares. And then also so you know how the AKC is not like the ARBA. With the ARBA you breed 3 generations, it's purebred.
Yeah.
In the AKC, that doesn't exist. You're basically breeding mixes. So basically what they're doing is they'll take these pugs and they'll breed them to something like a beagle.
Yeah.
And it's not, yeah. But no, you can breed the longer noses with the appropriate breeding and the appropriate dogs. The thing is you have a bunch of people that they want to sell like these freaking um French bulldogs that are like Merle for fucking 10 grand a piece.
Yeah. Yeah, the brindles and the merles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you know
Even
that
though those, yep,
they bred them into Australian shepherds to get that.
yep, yep, it's stupid.
That's why the Catahoulas are naturally like that.
Yep.
They're one of the breeds that have that natural merling.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know, and it's absolutely ridiculous. I live on a homestead with chickens and rabbits, and I still want a Paris Hilton purse puppy. I feel that. I feel the purse puppy thing, although my
I
purse puppy is a herding dog.
I've had those little dogs, those little ankle biters. I'm done with that. I want something that if I'm walking through and I trip and I want it to hurt me, not the dog.
I trip over Thor all the time. He's good. Of course, he always looks at me like it's my fault he's underfoot, but no, my father-in-law has a oh, what is it? Not it's a palpillon, a papillon, however you pronounce that.
Is it a rabbit?
So no. Like the dogs.
The Pomeranian?
No, isn't it? No, it's a palpion.
I have no clue. The only Palpion I know is a rabbit.
So basically, it's a little purse dog. It looks like somebody took a chihuahua and poofed it up.
I thought that was a Pomeranian.
No. It's its own breed.
It looks like a cotton ball that you stuck in an electrical outlet.
Not quite. The fur's a little longer and a little more down.
It's a French for butterfly.
Yeah, papillon. Papillon. It's French for butterfly. He has a papillon.
Hmm.
And it looks
Sounds
like a
like-
long-haired chihuahua. And it is the cutest little thing. His name is Cinnamon.
Oh, I seen somebody. Where were we at the other day? We was at some Christmas light festival,
Yep.
and we went past somebody that has they had a Mexican hairless, but it wasn't the small. It was the.
Are they like the
one that was like this tall.
Zassons or the Zacchions?
I don't know. They're like
the ones off of Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like a standard like Doberman size.
Yep.
But they're.
Do you know they
hairless.
come in two kinds? They come in hairless and furred.
Really? This one was hairless.
Yeah.
It looked like a black leather bag with legs.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's like a rare, like Mexican breed.
Yeah. My mentor for rabbits raising papillons. Julie, don't get papillons unless you're ready for struggles. They're a new breed. They're only a few years old, and they're still working on trying to pass colors. Same thing.
I can't really say anything because right now in Silver Foxes, we've been working on that blue COD now for how long?
Yeah, but the Silver Fox breed has been around a long time.
Yes, 1928.
You guys are just now trying to add colors.
Right.
But the breed itself fundamentally has been there.
It has been. And right now
the Papillons are new. They just came from England just a few years ago. They got passed in the ARBA. And they're a semi-arch breed, and they have to run just like the Checkered Giant, so you got to watch your structure.
No, ma'am. No, you talk about the checkered. My Danny absolutely loves the Checkered Giants. He saw them running the table, and he's like, "What breed is that?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not. I've been bit one too many times by a Checkered Giant."
Well, if he wants a Checkered Giant, just get him some Dwarf Papillons.
No,
they're small, but they're the same rabbit.
No, it sounds like hell. All 5 of my dog's large breeds. I've got Danes, a Husky, a Pit, a Pitsky, and a German Shepherd.
My dogs are invisible.
Mine are outside of my room, so they're not being annoying.
Yeah, well, you forgot to.
No. The little one's a cat. She's not she's a cat.
Oh, she's a cat. The other one's the puppy.
Exactly. The little one right here, she's been meowing all day. We're in that phase.
The smaller they are, the closer they are to hell.
Yes.
No,
agreed.
The smaller they are, the closer they are to being a football.
Do not launch the rabbits. Just got a chocolate silver Martin, excited to see more than just blues and blacks. I love silver Martins. My one friend that got me into rabbit breeding, her sister had silver Martins, but she just had blacks. But I also don't know the breed well enough to know that if in the early 2000s they had anything beyond black.
Silver Martin has always just been black.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the new Silver Martins are coming along as all the other breeds are adding Silver Martin in to their varieties. Now Silver Martins are starting to add the colors in.
See, the problem is I love the idea of people expanding their rabbitries, don't get me wrong, but when people add color, they get so obsessed with color, they lose type.
Yep.
And that's what I see.
And that's like with me on my lion heads. I'm getting the type, so I started focusing on getting them to clear out younger.
Yep.
And in doing so, I lost my density in my mains.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm building my density back up, which means they're going to start clearing later. So I'm back to square one on the clearing.
Yep. Well, I see it a lot with the Silver Fox. There's a Facebook group I follow that basically is like, Silver Foxes, all colors accepted. And some of these rabbits look like tube socks. Like they look like they could go up against a Hemi.
Yeah.
And Lord forbid.
People need to remember, always, always, always focus on your structure. Then the color will come.
Exactly. That's like right now I'm in a carrier phase where if you look in my barn and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get blue soon, and you're like, where? It's like, give me a minute. Like Hades, my one that I'm so proud of Hades. He beat Cara Perez's bucks, which that made me so happy.
Vesper says that this is happening to his mom, being obsessed with the colors instead of the structure.
Yep, and it's easy to do when a lot of new breeders is they're like, oh, look at all these colors, and it's like, stop, slow down. Type comes before color always.
Vesper, blue mini rexes have been worked with for a long time. You're okay to get blue mini rexes and breed blue mini rexes.
Yes, they have great type in them.
Just watch your type that you're buying. That's the biggest thing. Don't buy shit rabbits or you're going to produce shit rabbits.
Exactly. And the thing is like, when you're working with something like I am with the boos, obviously I bought a shit rabbit. And it's taken me forever to crossbreed things into it to make it better, but...
Blessed with Pets, Champagne, Netherlands. Honestly, in my opinion, anything D'Argent needs to stay in the D'Argents.
I agree.
Leave them alone. Leave the D'Argents alone. Quit trying to take those colors into other breeds.
Like the Nevies. Oh, she just said that.
Higgies, please, please, please tell me that you're not just breeding to make fucking money. Because I cannot support that.
Sorry, Vesp. We'll make sure we use she, they from now on. Sorry, hon. Let's see. My mentor told me that chinchilla is one of the most difficult mini rex colors to work with. Is that true? Any agouti is extremely difficult to work with.
Yes. Anything with banding. And when I say banding, if you don't know what banding is, please look it up. It's the layers on the hair shaft itself. Anything with that kind of banding is terrible to work with.
Castor, amber, lynx, opal, chinchilla.
Yep.
I'm missing one. Castor, amber, lynx, opal, chinchilla. What am I missing? I think that's it.
I don't know.
Yeah, that should be good.
I don't remember. Graceful rabbitry. Yep, I totally agree. I get this chocolate buck because he has far better type than my black buck. The black buck barely hits weight and has a very small litters, and his body type is not great. Okay, so Graceful, your litter size is not determined on your buck. Your litter size is determined on your doe and her capacity. You have a bigger doe, you generally will have bigger litters. You have a smaller doe, you're generally going to be smaller litters. In my case, somehow I took a 2-pound doe and made 5 babies. That's where physically she should have only had 2 to 4.
Let's see.
Higgies, that QR code, that app that you're talking about, I know what you're talking about. It's not available in the US yet. It is Europe only.
See, y'all should just use my code with Everbreed.
I actually have been I started using the Who's Due.
My one friend uses that. I've just always used Everbreed. I love it. And I like that it's compatible with Evans.
Yes.
Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you're doing says that they're not going to breed just to make babies and sell them for money. I appreciate you for not doing that because that is my biggest pet peeve in the rabbit industry. I will call you out 100 times out of 10.
We have a lot
Maddie.
of that.
I have sent Maddie very many screenshots of me calling people out.
Especially with lion heads. You have these little No, freaking. So everyone knows I'm the Boo and Vienna Gene police, right? And my one group will sit there and purposefully tag me in things because I will sit there and have little tiny, because like earlier today, they sent me a chocolate Vienna marked animal. You want to talk about the anger because you know how chocolate causes the red cast over the
Yep.
eyes, and when you add that to Boo, it's a DQ.
Yep.
And the biggest problem
Also, chocolate carries dark toenails.
It does, which is a DQ.
Yep.
And I see. Don't play with your gum. And it drives me nuts because so many people will breed chocolates into Vienna because it's, oh my God, so cute. And then I see it so I'm so sick. And I'm going to have a rant for a second. I'm so sorry. I'm so sick of the ARBA transfer group page just allowing any fucking thing ever in their fucking transfer. You are the ARBA transportation group to get a lot. Why are we encouraging trash?
They don't care what the rabbit looks like. They're making money off of transporting it.
Trash.
Julie Joyner,
Anger.
Your broken black mini Rex doe that is a year old and barely broke 3 pounds, dwarf gene. The dwarf gene causes them to be small.
Yes.
And mini Rex do have a dwarf gene because that's how they got the mini. You have to breed a dwarf into the Rex to get the size down.
Yes. So in the late 1900s, it was in the 1980s. What was introduced into it was one of the dwarf genes off of the Nevi dwarfs. And they bred them into a standard size Rex and they brought the size down. Look up the first ever mini Rexes. They were trash and ugly as heck. But somebody took it as their pet project and was just so in love with it that they bred it to a standard and got the COD passed. Let's see.
Blessed with pets, please consider yourself before you talk about wanting to sell to pet people.
Yep.
It drives me nuts. People just wanting to breed to make money.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what we are here for. We are here to support the ARBA standard of perfection.
And not only that, but if you are breeding like just for money and just for pets, it is a quick way to get blacklisted by other people that are breeding to standard and to get kicked out of clubs.
You will get kicked out of clubs, and when you go to shows, you will be blackballed.
Mm-hmm. Especially, I see it a lot. We have a couple of rare heritage breed groups here, and they will... Hi, Thor. Who let Thor in? They will very quickly ban people from sales lists. My purse dog. But you will make a bad name for yourself selling bad things.
Don't.
It is a great way to get yourself into it.
Jay says the Papillons don't pose very well. They're a semi-arch breed and they're a running breed. They're not supposed to pose.
No, they run around.
They run up and down the table. They don't stay in one spot. So, yeah.
Yeah. So that could be why they're not posing correctly. Stop it.
Now, if you want a posing arch breed, you get a Brit. Then you have to deal with the attitude.
I have been bit by Brits so many times. They're a cool little breed. I will never own one.
Listen, I thought one of my lion heads was going to go flying across the barn the other night. Ashley was out there helping me feed, and she reached in the cage on this one doe. She reached in because she pulled her bull off the side of the cage. She reached in to grab the bull, and the thing latched onto her finger.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Nah. The most wonderful time.
Higgy, I acquired these lion heads from stupid person who got them for their granddaughter and knew nothing about them. Didn't work out, so they showed up at my house. Again, please don't breed just to breed. If they're not of good quality, I don't recommend breeding them.
Bye, Julie. Thor looks more like a gym bag dog. He's my baby. He's just a little breed. He's so small. He's so small.
Julie says she's going to hop off of here to get back to work. Okay, bye, Julie.
Bye, Julie.
Rune is here. Haroon.
Let's see. At first, I was just breeding for pets, and then some. See, we're gonna get you there somehow, blessed with pets. We're gonna get you there somehow.
Listen, good things come in time.
They do.
Remember that. Good things come in time. Rome wasn't built in a day.
But it was destroyed in bout one.
Well, we don't talk about the destruction. We're talking about the build up. The destruction, listen, the destruction comes when you sell pets and junk quality. That's the destruction.
I'm telling you, I sold pets when I got back into breeding rabbits after the military. I maybe sold pets for a year, and I got so sick of people that I'm like, nah, fam, I'm just eating everything. I'm not dealing with this.
Jay, thank you for the update on the Silver Martins.
Yes.
I did not know when they added the other colors, but I knew the originals were black.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know. All I knew is she bred black, and that was it. And I don't know the breed well enough to know when they added those, so thank you.
Graceful Rabbitry. Thoughts on English lops? I think
like
they're
English
beautiful.
lops.
I think they're beautiful.
They're beautiful.
Their ears are very susceptible to a lot of diseases, though.
Mm-hmm.
They are
and not only that, but
ear mites, ear cankers, frostbite.
And then any lop breed you have, you need to make sure that your watering system is appropriate. Either you do bottles or you have a bowl that's set up high enough to where they can't dip their ears in the bowl.
Yes. Higgy has meat rabbits. You can show meat rabbits if they're pure breeds.
Well, you don't even need to have a pure breed. They just need to fit a standard of perfection.
True.
It's just to get them registered.
Even at the National ARBA convention, they have a meat rabbit exhibition.
Speaking of, guess what?
You're showing it next year.
No. All of my meat rabbits, my Champagne des Argents, the litters are gone already. They are freaking... Now, they're not going to get all of them. I had a 4-H group reach out to me and said they will take any of my meat rabbits that are ready in January for single meat pens. So in January, I'm going to get a good weight on them. And if they're under a certain weight, I'm not going to sell them, of course. But basically, that entire litter, gone for 4-H. I get to pay for my feed bill for the first quarter of 2024.
Higgy says, okay, you convinced me I won't breed the lion heads. I'm not trying to scare you away from breeding them. I'm just asking you not to breed them just to breed them.
Yes.
If they're of quality and you want to show them, yes, breed them. I don't want you to fall into the loop of breeding them and getting a little money in your hand and then continuing to breed them and filling our youth with rabbits that we have to break their hearts on.
Yep, which you would be proud. I was talking to Victoria about that. She's so excited to get her trio off of you here soon. And she is not gonna breed just to breed, so.
Good.
Woo! My insurance company came through.
Stables were able to establish by them.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Silver Martin Sable.
Stay downstairs,
Silver
please.
Martins, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're something, all right. I've seen a couple.
Why do you have your sister's pull-ups? Put those back. Thank you.
Blessed with pets. Any lot breed, you have to watch their ears.
Yes, any lot breed. Now, I'll tell you what I saw. I saw the most beautiful velveteen lops at my last show. Just
do not even speak of that breed. That breed is a freaking abomination.
Beautiful abomination.
No. They're English lops with Rex wool and shorter ears. Nope. They've been trying to pass that breed for 7 or 8 years now, and it still ain't passed, and I don't think it will.
It won't. But here's the thing, right? They're going to keep pushing it. Eventually, it's going to get through, but it basically it needs to do the same thing the lion heads did, where they just need to really. They
need to focus on one variety.
Mm-hmm.
When I was at convention, they had so many there. There was so many varieties that there was no consistency.
Yep. Oh, I know. And the thing
Higgy,
is Higgy,
what kind of quail are you getting? Are you
Hello,
getting
quail.
jumbo
Catornic.
Bob Whites? Are you getting Caternix? What are you looking to get, and what are you planning to do with them? Are you planning to eat the quail or just the eggs, or breed them and sell the eggs?
So I had the best of luck with my Catornix quail selling day-old chicks.
We raised an actual wild Bob Whites. We had the best luck selling fledglings.
Really?
We sold the best to pointer breeders and pointer trainers, like
Okay.
retriever trainers and everything, because they would take them and they band their wings and they put them in the launchers
Mm,
and they would launch them and use them for training.
okay.
Because you rubber
Oh,
band their wings, they can't fly, but it doesn't hurt the bird.
yep. Okay. Let's
Also,
see.
you can do that if you have feral pigeons. You
Mhm.
can trap them and sell them like that too.
Huh. When I get my own rabbitry where I'm control of decisions, I will use my byproducts as pets, but I'm not going to advertise it. I'm gonna vet and educate everyone. So here's the thing, Vesp. When you can be the most selective in the world when it comes to pets, you're still gonna get to deal with the general public when vetting them.
Yes.
And you're going to waste so much time and so much energy finding the best option. It's just time-wise so much easier to
Yep.
eat them.
And a
So
lot
much
of
easier
a
to eat
lot of
them.
times, a lot of times, pet buyers won't sit there and let you talk to them like that.
Yep,
They
they
just want
won't.
to go buy a rabbit and they don't care.
Yep. So automatically, even though I'll put like meat rabbit up on my ads, be like, oh, meat rabbit, especially if I have a breeder that they're a good size, but maybe they aren't meeting quality for color or something. I'll put down meat rabbit for X amount. And I'll have people that are like, oh, I'm looking for a pet. Oh, sorry, I don't sell pets. And I get one or two options. Either they ghost me or they're like, oh, well, how much can I buy it for anyway? And then I ghost them. Because it's just not worth it. I love
Let's
Velveteen
see.
Lops, but I have to spend a
Piggy,
fortune
I
on
have a
setup.
mentor who is coaching me on quail. I will get
Yes.
them from her. I intend to eat them and the eggs. And yes, I am a
Perfect.
city girl, moving country, and know nothing.
So the
Listen,
biggest
you're in
thing
the
with
right spot. If you know nothing, you're in the right spot because we all know a little bit.
yeah, we all know a little bit. So with the quail, the biggest thing you have to keep in mind when it comes to quail, especially if you're doing Catornics, they love to kill themselves.
Yeah, Bob Whites are not though. Bob Whites, I have never raised the jumbos. I think the jumbos are different because of how fast and rapid they grow and everything like that. But we
Mm-hmm.
had the wild ones, and they had the drive to survive. Like
Not the Catornics.
we had to have tree branches and everything in their aviaries and everything. And you would go out at night and they'd be roosted up in the tree limbs.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Papillons. Oop, wrong button. Papillons are posed, not a running breed according to my standards out in the barn. I can't even check. Do I
Yeah,
have an extra
mine's
standard?
out there too. But I could have swore that when I was at convention, I seen them running them down the tables.
I don't know enough about them to say, to be honest.
I don't know either. I didn't pay a lot of attention to that because I was worried about the lion head thing and taking care of the lion head booth and everything.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh yeah, I'm
see.
not gonna search for people and eat most of them, but someone says, "Hey, I'm looking for a pet." If they're actually willing to listen to educate, I'll give them a chance. See, my general rule is I don't sell pets. The only exception I make is for family and friends that I know will actually listen to me.
Yeah.
And then if I have a 4-H kid that they've put in a year to 2 years of really hard work when it comes to rabbits,
Mm-hmm.
I have like my 4-H kids, if they're putting in years and years when it comes to rabbits, I have no problem. Like okay, here you go.
I don't sell on a pet basis at all.
Nope.
Period.
Mm-mm.
If I have a rabbit that doesn't meet my quality, he gets knocked across the head and fed to the coyotes.
Yep. Well, see, that's the thing. Like all the animals that I sell, even as pet quality, they're still showable. They're still really nice animals, and they would do well on a table. It's just that, you know.
And Vesper, good luck on the contract thing. A lot of pet buyers are not looking for that. It's going to be difficult to get them to commit to that.
Yep. And when it comes to contracts, the biggest thing is if you want to make a contract legally binding, you have to go through a lawyer to do all of the proper things, and that costs a good pretty penny. And then if something does happen, you have to go after them, which costs more money. My problem is what I need to cross for type, I can't cross because of color. So when it comes to crossing for type versus color, sometimes so there's this thing called the sunk cost fallacy, where you hold on to something because you've spent money and time in it, when in actuality you're wasting time and resources on that thing instead of completely trashing it and starting new with something better. So sometimes when it comes
Piggies, congratulations on your accomplishments. I commend you on those. In the past 2 years, you've learned to garden, can your vegetables, chickens, calling your chickens, rabbits, and calling your rabbits.
That's
And
amazing.
I am capable of learning and admit to not being perfect. Nobody's perfect. You got to
No
start
one,
somewhere.
no. Yeah.
I
And not
had
only
a
do you
friend of
have
mine. I
yeah.
had a friend of mine that I mentored on processing broiler chickens, and I showed them how to do it and everything. Turned around, they went and they butchered their own and forgot to take the oil gland off of the tail and accidentally poisoned their family.
Oops.
Yep. And it was one of those things that I overlooked on telling them.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm making canned dog food this weekend. So this weekend I have a couple of rabbits I'm culling out, and I'm grinding up the meat and mixing it with rice, veggies, fruit, the raw barf method, except for I'm cooking it, and then I'll be canning it. So I love making homemade canned food. The biggest thing with the dog food is working with a vet and making sure that the food is actually balanced. Because what a lot of people have issues with is they don't balance out their food. And from the most recent studies that we see when it comes to dogs, they actually need grains in their diet to avoid certain mitochondrial, like heart disease type things.
Vesper, peanuts are a genetic deformity. Those, if
They
you're
will
getting
not survive.
peanuts, if you're getting peanuts repeatedly out of the same animal, that animal carries that. You need to call that animal.
So with a dwarf, so a peanut is a double dwarf, meaning genetically speaking, they hold two dwarf genes. Mini Rex, unless you have a bud, are dwarf carriers. So if you're breeding a dwarf carrier to a dwarf carrier, there's a 25% chance that any baby in that litter is going to carry a double dwarf gene. Each baby has a 25% chance. That being said, some animals seem to be more prone to producing them than others. And the biggest difference between a peanut and a runt can survive, a peanut cannot. There is something genetically wrong with the peanut in that they don't have vital organs, they're not growing appropriately, etc. They will not make it to adulthood. Normally, they die within the first 3 days of life. Every once in a while, they'll make it longer, but they will not survive. When it looks at culling,
my rule is if I see a peanut in the nest box, immediately it's out, gone.
Yep, I agree. It's a cull automatic, and I do the cervical dislocation method. Do not freeze your animals. Freezing is extremely inhumane. The most humane way of culling is going to be through cervical dislocation. I use the cup method. So if you have a cup, this is the animal, you put the cup down on neck, put pressure, pull. It's the same way as the broomstick method, but it's a little easier with a cup.
See, I don't kill mine. I take them and I up in the woods. Usually I catch them within 5 to 7 hours old.
Yep.
So being out of the nest for 10 minutes and they're going to be passed away.
Yep. Nah, so the cup method is the best way to do it, but you can also just hold body, hold head, and just.
I usually end up with too much force and it like pops like a dandelion.
See, my dog likes. So I have two snake breeders I give peanuts to, and if they're good to go, my husky loves peanuts. Booze versus ruse. Something, yeah.
Those
Especially
are
if we're talking.
listen. That's the great debate right now. Booze versus ruse. That's the great
Booze.
debate. No, ruse.
I have both. I don't breed them ever together, but I have both.
I do not have booze, and I will never own VM or VCs in my barn. You will never see one in my barn.
I'm gonna put one in your barn.
And it will not be in my barn for very long.
Bye, graceful rabbitry. Have a great night.
Good night.
I've got somebody picking up my one-eared, probably mini Holland Lop on Christmas Eve, and she asked me to teach her everything, and I sent her a KW cage, food, etc., and she bought everything I sent. Rice, carrots, and other veggies. Okay, then. That's what I used on the last. I breed mini Rex. Peanuts are inevitable, but my mom offers to cull peanuts and let them die, and their own freezes them.
Yes, graceful. Ruse.
No, booze.
Ruse, the original white rabbits.
So here's the thing, right? There are very few people in this world who should be breeding boos. Boos are not a project for most rabbit breeders in that they don't have enough understanding of how the Vienna gene works and how to keep it out of other lines and not freaking taint everything. But also, most people don't know how to play between boo, VC, and non-carrier to basically it's an advanced project that takes a crap ton of space.
Yes, because you need to have VCs to get your boos.
Yep.
So you end up with white boos and genetic other colored boos. And
VC
when I say genetic
so they're
other
Vienna
colors,
carriers.
because they have blue eyes, but they might be like a tort that's got blue eyes.
So technically, those are still Vienna carriers. They would be the same as if you had a normal rabbit that wasn't exposing the VC gene, so the Vienna gene, and just had nothing there. The difference between the ones with the blue eyes, those are phenotyped Vienna carriers compared to genotype carriers. So they have physical attributes that show that they are a Vienna carrier compared to ones that don't. The problem is there's something called a random white spot gene, which is completely different from a Vienna gene, but shows phonetically the same way as a Vienna from white spots, but does not carry blue eyes. And the only way to test them is to breed them to a blue-eyed white.
Also, Rune says she wants to get 4 with a boo.
If something's carrying boo.
So the way I see that is if you're trying to use a boo as a tester, then you're ending up putting the gene in to whatever you're getting.
You would literally have to cull entire litters to not. So the best way to keep Vienna out of your line is to go with breeders who don't breed Vienna at all, and they have good stock. Like, if you have a good ethical breeder that knows their stock and is staying the heck away from those things, you don't have to worry about that.
Higgy, don't worry. We both have ADHD. We will bounce around on topics. I mean, if you missed the live last week, we were here for over 3 hours.
And just talking about the most
talked about every rabbit topic you could. We touched on for at least 3 minutes.
I doubt we touched on every single topic. I feel like we could have done.
Rune, we are a very, very small club here yet. Very small club of what? Booze? It should be non-existent.
Oh, stop your nonsense. Boos are amazing. It's just most people shouldn't be breeding them.
Blessed with pets, I had terrible lion heads, blues, harlequins, VM, black VM. Luckily, I got out of that phase. but they were the rabbits I got my most recent litters from. Look up reputable breeders. If you like the lion heads and you want to pursue the boos, look up the reputable breeders. I get good quality rabbits, and you can still work with your boos. Just know that we're probably about 5 years out from even getting close to being accepted.
And know that you do not have a large enough rabbitry. You do not have a large enough cage space for boos.
We were almost passed on boos, but they failed on the Reno convention. They failed at Reno, and that was the end of the COD. And nobody has picked it back up yet.
Do you expect anyone to pick it back up?
They are. They are picking it back up, I think, next year.
Okay.
But right now the focus is on sable points.
Legit. I think you'll have more luck with sable points compared to boos, if we're going to be frank.
And also, I've heard that there are people trying to get the agoutis COD picked up. Yes,
Agouti and Lionhead?
Yes. Oh, they're beautiful.
When you get a chance, send me pictures. I have never seen that, and I'm intrigued.
I have a friend that has oranges. I have a friend that has reds, and I have a friend that has chestnuts.
How does that even work?
It's basically, so the orange and the red are high Rufus torts without the points. They're basically a tort, but they're so high in Rufus that they dilute the points. They're beautiful. I wished I had enough room. I would work on oranges.
You say that, and I'm working on frickin' all kinds of things with my room. You make room. It's great.
Okay, you're working on a rabbit club, starting up a rabbit club. Okay. Work in conjunction with an already established club. That's how we're getting a couple of our clubs started here in our area.
Yep.
They're hosting shows in conjunction with larger shows. Like we had one, it was a 2-day show at the same grounds, but the first day was with one club, the second day was with the second club.
Yep. Well, that's how we do our Silver Fox Club. Is we work in conjunction with the car show that's already established and already a club, and then we have our own Silver Fox Club for our specialty breed shows. How do you think it'll Travis, what do you think of the Brindle Mini Rexes?
They will never pass. Never.
They're going to pass.
No, they won't.
Look at Mini Rex, how we are in general. We see a new variety, we pass it, we keep it for 5 years, and then it goes into the underground.
No. I don't think Brindles are going to pass.
What is your reasoning?
Because they're not consistent.
But they're no more consistent than Harlequins, and we've gotten, like, when it comes to Harlequin as a breed, it's been passed. I think the biggest thing is they're going to have to get more strict on the COD and who is working with it. That's going to be their biggest problem, and they need to focus on just doing, like we've talked about, like the black and orange, because right now they're doing like the black, the orange, they're doing the blue and tan, and they're doing the lilac and blue.
See, the way I see it is they're trying to use the mutation from Harlequin, and they're trying to use it to make a brindle so that they can use the brindle to make tries.
And they're trying to make it to where a try program can be better used.
I think they're going to get too much of the broken gene, and they're going to have problems with white popping up.
So yes and no, because EN is very easy to breed out of a program because it's the most dominant gene. So broken's the most dominant over solid. So you need a broken to get the white into a broken pattern. So it's very easy to breed out. So I think their biggest problem is actually going to be the dispersion of pattern and how brindles work compared to harlequins, because you want that brindle in color to get a more even distribution of the tri-coloration. Because
Yes.
when you have a more harlequin base, it gets the striping of spots, which is
Yep.
inappropriate. What they are working on, though, is I've been seeing them try to get the more Britain looking tries, the booted tries we've talked about
Yeah.
before, which I think they're more likely to pass the brindles than they are those booted tries that are popular over in England.
The biggest thing is though is the consistency.
Yes, agree.
The standards committee will fail it every single time on consistency, and all it takes is one rabbit, and it'll ruin the entire presentation.
It will. Especially, and like I said, that's where we came into the conversation of they are doing too many varieties. They aren't just sticking to black and orange.
Yes.
If they would
Blessed
just
with
stick
Pets.
there.
Blessed with Pets. Once she loves her chinchillas, but knows how we feel about agoutis. If
It's
you
not that we
get,
feel I love agoutis. It's just that they are a very hard project.
they are a hard project, and if you're gonna start out with good stock. Start out with the correct colors so you don't have that screw up of trying to fight out the bad color.
So, like my agoutis, I have been working on my agoutis for years, and they still will get beat out every time. We have this little old lady that's been breeding casters for 50 years. I cannot beat her casters because my color is that much off.
Yep.
That much off. My middle ring, my dove ring is too quote lemony.
Yep. And
And
the chins, you'll hear them talking about the black tint over the back.
Rufus. Yep.
The chins are supposed to have that dark, and when you get too light, it's technically they're still a chin, but you just can't compete against that Rufus.
Not to mention, when you're getting that good Rufus, a lot of times it can throw off your wide band versus your short band gene.
Yes.
Let's see. They've been in the breeding programs for a while because of tries. Why wouldn't they pass? Because too many people are trying to play with it.
Brindles haven't been in the program that long, honestly. If you want true tries, you'll get them out of breeding blacks to broken blacks. I bred mini Rexes for 15 years, and for 10 of those years, all I had was blacks and broken blacks, and I got tricolors every time.
Strawberry throws tries.
And that was
Harleys.
zero. That was before brindles were even thought of. That was before blue eye whites were thought of. That was before any of those. We had reds, chocolates, blacks, blues, lilacs, brokens, rue, and I don't even think we had agoutis at that point.
Agoutis were a thing in the early 2000s because my friend.
I started breeding in 2003. I started breeding mini Rexes, and I ran them for 15 years. And I started with reds, and then quickly switched because I couldn't compete in the reds, so I went to blacks and broken blacks. And that's when I was very competitive, and I was producing tricolors that I was showing with my broken blacks, because the brokens all show together, whether it be a tri or a broken black, broken red, broken chocolate. They all show against each other.
The EJ gene, which is the gene that controls the harlequin, and therefore when you get the broken format of the tricolor, can hide under things. Now, the biggest question when it comes to tries currently is whether you should get the agouti version of the EJ gene, which is the big E, little j gene, or the self Harley gene, which is the little E, little j gene, but also creates torts.
Blessed with Pets, I'm pretty sure that if you sold all your lots, I bet you could buy a trio off of Maddie. She's going to be coming to Ohio soon, so I'm sure she could arrange to get them to you.
I can. And depending on what you right now, depending on what you want, I won't sell you booze because I don't sell anyone booze unless it's very, very specific people that I specifically know that we're all playing this game of booze. But I have blacks, I have ruse.
I would go since you're still young, you're still new, you're still learning. Go with blacks and brokens.
Yes,
Focus
and
on
I
your
have a
blacks and your
ton of
brokens.
those. Yep, and I have so many of those. If you see this nonsense Strawberry throws, he throws some nice wide butt freaking minis. I'm gonna eat your lops, Blessed. Let's see.
Graceful says that she'd trade her English lops for a trio of silver fox from you.
I'd take a good trio. Well, I'll trade. The question is when it comes to the silver fox. So I have some pretty good silver foxes. Of course, my blacks are going to be better than my blues, but depending on which lines you're looking at, my trios, I'm very particular with the silver foxes. In that I prefer to sell people just none of the carriers, just because of how type goes with those silvers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not bad. It's just they're so slightly off, and with how competitive we are here, I am so particular about which silver foxes I sell.
See, I'm like that with my lion heads.
Mm-hmm.
I have a section in my barn, and it's only chocolates in that section.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they're not chocolates as a variety. They're chocolates as carriers. I'm using them in my, so anybody that's new here, I have 7 rabbits in my rabbitry that are chocolate carriers that I'm using for a dilute tort program to produce my lilac torts, my chocolate torts, so that I can get those as competitive as the black torts are. Because the black tort was the original Lionhead variety past. So now I'm working on making the lilac torts and chocolate torts competitive against the black torts.
Yep. Well, it's like our we have so Cara Perez took over the blue COD for silver foxes. So there are 2 people that I know that would get blue silver foxes off of me, because I'm also trying to get those blue silver foxes up, and that's Cara and my barn partner Victoria. They're the only ones getting blues, because those blues right now, they are just nothing compared to blacks, and they're going to take a lot of breeding to get them to the quality that blacks are.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, so blue silver foxes are my...
Right now, I'm not keen on selling any of my chocolate carriers, because I'm still working. They're all out crosses right now, so I'm working on making my genetic line before I say, I can guarantee these. Now my black torts, on the other hand, those I've got those down to where, like, I will sell you a black tort and it's going to throw black torts or blue torts.
Yep.
And it's going to be consistent.
Well, you know what I just thought of? I don't know if this is a thing or not. I've never seen one. A pure black lion head.
Yes, they're a variety.
They're a variety. I've never seen one, but I think that would just be gorgeous.
They're jet black, but when their wool grows in, their wool is like a dove gray.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's kind of like that charcoaly, grayish, dovey gray kind of color. It's not as dark as their saddle.
Okay.
And they're beautiful. They're beautiful.
I bet they are.
But
I've only ever seen torts on table.
So I have my lines to where I'm not producing any selfs.
Yep.
I'm only producing torts. I haven't produced one rabbit in my barn that isn't a tort. And that's even out of ruse. Every rabbit that has been produced in my barn is a tort.
Yep. I have a color question for my English lop. She is originally from a blue tort, then was told she was turning to a black tort. Her shading color is blue, but her eyes are brown. So you can't have something turn into another color. It either is a blue tort or it is a black tort. Now, you can have a poorly colored animal.
So the eye color is supposed to be the same through all torts. And I'm pretty sure that's general through all breeds. Because the tort variety itself is what the SOP is. And then you have your undercolors is your black, blue, chocolate, and lilac.
Which I got to talk to you about something. I'm not allowed to talk about it here. I got to talk to you about something that you'll be interested in, but I am sworn to secrecy of not talking about it on platforms when it comes to eye color and certain colored animals. Because I'd love to hear your opinion on it. I just can't talk about it more on here because somebody will strangle me.
And also the other thing is, like, if you look at mine, so like the black torts, they're a orangey fur with the black tipping. On my blue torts, they're a gray. So that's where also you have to look at, like, if you're getting orange, that's how you tell your blue torts from your black torts. Your black torts are going to be an orangish, like rusty color, and your blue torts are going to be a gray.
Let's see. And if you're getting anything with off-colored eyes, off-colored toenails, it needs to be culled from your program and not bred. Like, that is an easy way to do all kinds of weird, messed up things to your lines if you're trying to breed for show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the SOP, across all tort colors, the eye color is the same through all 4 varieties of tort.
I don't know torts well enough to say yes or no to that.
They're supposed to be like a brown.
Yeah.
And
see, I should have brought my SOP
they're supposed to be
but...
brown. They're supposed to be brown, and they're supposed to have brown toenails also.
Mm-hmm. Well, the way I've always had it is dark to dark, but yes.
Yeah. Now you got to watch your lilacs, because your lilacs tend to get light toenails.
There's all kinds of problems in lilacs. Love lilacs dearly, but they're just so underdeveloped.
That's why I've got a chocolate program.
All right. So we are over our 1 hour mark, and I do got to go fix my ceiling.
We're going on an hour and a half. We are. Yes, I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, but thank you again for joining me. It has been fun, but we do got to get going here because otherwise we're going to turn into pumpkins.
Yes. Well, some of us pumpkins. I turn into a pile of poop.
Oh my gosh. I'll just turn it into a pumpkin.
Yeah. But we'll be back next week.
Yep.
Bring questions, guys. We're here to answer questions for you.
Yes, and you and I need to come up with a topic for next week that we can talk about as well.
Vesper says we have 2 litters of lilacs and 2 more coming.
Oh, heck yeah.
Of mini Rex lilacs.
Nice.
Thanks for the live. How can we do a private discussion soon? We will get in contact with you. Maddie will get in contact with you through your email, and we'll get something set up through a phone call or something.
Yeah, or we can. I know you don't have Facebook, but I'll shoot you an email tonight, hun. We'll see what platform we can all 3 talk on.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna press the X button so we actually get out of here. Otherwise, we're gonna talk for another half hour.
Yep.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.